So if you guys don't want to see a ton of yarn, turn this off because this is a ton of yarn. Hi friends, welcome to season 2, episode 11 of Gemma Darling Daily. I'm your host, Danielle, otherwise known as Gemma Darling. You can find me on the internet on Instagram as Gemma Darlings with an S and Gemma Darling on Ravelry. I just got back from Rhinebeck. I've been trying to podcast for I don't know, when did Rhinebeck end? Like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? I don't even know because everything's just been a blur. I've been so tired since I got home. I know all of you that went had a great time. I got to see so many of you and meet so many of you, and I am so thankful for that. And I got so many little gifts from people, and of course I think they're downstairs, which is where I knit, so we'll see those next week. But I just wanted to thank everyone that knit along with us for the LYS Unity Cal. See, I finished my Tecumseh. I'm actually wearing it and I am sweating, so it is a really warm sweater. And I think that makes sense because I don't know who said it the other day, but someone said that they think all these fair isles came about in these colder climates because they're so much warmer, because they're basically a 2-ply sweater. And if you really look at the bottom of it, it is. It's got all of the strings coming across, so it's basically double thick. So it's so warm, and Saturday at Rhinebeck, everyone had their sweaters on, and it wasn't a nice day, but it wasn't bad until about 3 o'clock, I think, 3 or 4 o'clock, when it just downpoured and everyone just ran. So I drove up with Corrado on Thursday during the day, and so we were able to get there around noon. We went to downtown Rhinebeck because, I don't know, for people that go to the festival, you kind of know there's so much to do concerning the fairgrounds and in the Untangled and Needles Up that you sometimes miss out on seeing how beautiful downtown Rhinebeck is. And so I wanted him to have that chance to see it when we first got there. So I made him meet me really early, which I don't think is a problem for him. It's more of a problem for me. But I took him to Bread Alone, which is where Christy took me the first time she took me to Rhinebeck. And so the avocado toast there is just completely off the hook. It's like $6 or $8 too, and you get this huge hunk of thick rustic bread. It's delicious. I don't know what they do to it. It's magic. If you're ever there, or if you ever find a Bread Alone, which is kind of like a Panera, it's called Bread Alone, get it. It's delicious. So I took him there for avocado toast and he got a breakfast burrito. But hey, whatever, right? As long as he was happy. We went to the Knitting Garage, which is Leah Stickles' store in the back of Stickles. I think it's like a 5 and 10. I don't know exactly what you would call that store, but it's so like a blast from the past in there. It's amazing. She has a whole wall of needles, so anything you need. She's got Hedgehog Fibers. She dyes her own yarn. She's got all the different brands, all the Pom Pom mags, everything. And so we went there, and we were going to go to the candy store, but we were running late. We had to go and meet up with Erin at Morehouse Merino Farm. And I am not usually a type of person who at these fiber festivals goes to see the sheep. Kind of makes me sad to see animals in cages. And, as much as I love yarn, it makes me sad sometimes to see, the animals, being bought and sold and this and that. And I do understand that that is part of the process. And I know a couple people that own farms and they love their sheep and llamas as if they're dogs and cats, as if they're house pets. So, you know, I know that they are treating them well, but it's just the way it's done. You know, that's the way it's done. It's livestock. So, I don't know. I'm not usually one to go over to the sheep and see them, but since I've been bringing Franny, like, she likes to pet them and stuff, so we do go see them. When we went to Morehouse Farm, though, I mean, these sheep are so well taken care of and so loved, and it was so nice to see. So please check out my Rhinebeck Thursday video, which is up on my channel right now. I think it says RBK Arrival and Morehouse Farm. And Morehouse Farm is in upstate New York. I believe it's in Red Hook. I have to check that. And it was not far from the fairgrounds at all. I think it was like 11 minutes from downtown Rhinebeck. And it was the most beautiful farm. It was beautiful. And we were just there, I think, at a certain time of day where the sun was hitting it the right way. And it was really beautiful. We went through the whole farm and we got to see the sheep. And they looked happy. I know that's weird to say, but they just looked happy. They had a big area to roam in. And it was green and beautiful. And there were ducks and geese and a pond, and it was just a really nice, beautiful place. And I was very happy to buy a yarn there. So Erin took us into their store, and her aunt and uncle used to own the farm, I believe, and unfortunately they passed away, and so she's trying to keep it alive. And she asked me what Franny's favorite animal was, and I'm like, I don't really know what Franny's favorite animal is, because we have a dog and she loves Mr. Pooper, like loves him. So I said a dachshund, and she had a critter. And so they design all of these patterns that are animals, and you can buy them as kits. And so she found me a dachshund scarf. As you can see, the dachshund scarf. And it really does actually look like Mr. Pooper. And so I'm going to be making this for her. And she tried to gift me this yarn, but I wanted to support the farm. And this is pretty much the color that he is it not? Right? So 2 skeins of this, and she gave me the eyes that go on it, and I will be able to make a Mr. Pooper scarf for Franny. And I have to tell you, it was a really pleasant surprise. This yarn is so beautiful. I believe she said that her aunt and uncle, like in the years ago, maybe in the 70s, I'm not sure, 70s or 80s, adopted these sheep from Australia, and they're merino sheep. And she was showing us, you know, inside their fleeces, how there's so much lanolin and how it's just such high quality wool that comes from these animals. And it really is. This is 100% merino, and it feels so soft. So if you guys have a little one in your life and you'd like to knit a critter of some kind, please go to Morehouse Merino Farm. I believe, you know, they have an online presence, and it's Morehouse Merino Farm on Instagram. I'll put it in the down bar here. Support them. Let's help keep them alive. And buy a critter to make for your little person. And even for yourself, the sweater quantities are beautiful, and they're very, very careful at making sure that the dye lots match. So that's a really wonderful thing. For all of us using indie dyed yarn, we know that they don't always match, and that's okay. But they do a really good job at matching it. So Morehouse Merino Farm, guys. That was our first stop. What's funny about that is that Corrado told me to wear boots. He's like, wear boots that can get muddy. I was like, okay. I had my Doc Martens, but I was like, I'm going to wear them the whole weekend. I don't really want to get them all yucky. So I bought hunter boots, which are, as you know, those really big rubber snow boots, you know, rain boots. I've always wanted them, so I was really glad to have an excuse to buy them. But I thought he was going to have, like, crappy shoes on, too. And he comes out in these beautiful leather boots, and they were not rain boots. They were not mush boots. I had mush boots on. He did not. And it was really, really funny because here I am with this guy who's got his leather jacket on, his fancy boots, and I'm like dressed to go to a farm, you know, with great hair. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, that's on the video too, so you guys have to tune in. It's actually really funny. I love hanging out with Corrado. It's like we met and we just instantly were friends. And I have so much fun with him. I hope you guys are having a ball watching him on my channel. There is a lot more to come. He and I are starting a podcast. And I know we've been talking about it for a while, but there are 2 rivers between us. So we have to figure out when to film. Pretty sure during the colder months we'll be able to do some filming. So stay tuned for the Sicilians. Okay, next. Next was Indie Untangled, and let me show you. I worked in their booth with Corrado, and this was the bag for this year. Lisa does a great job, and she gets these really, really cool things that people are able to pre-order on indieuntangled.com. So that was the bag, and this was the pin, the Stash Rabbit pin, and it's adorable. It's really, really cute. So I brought these home for Franny, because, you know, she needs something. The kid loves yarn, so I'm pretty sure she's going to be a rabid knitter, and she ain't going into my stash, so I'm going to start her stash. But Lisa obviously offered to pay us, and we just were like, pay us in yarn, and so at the end of the night, she told us to take whatever we wanted, which was so generous, Lisa. Thank you so much. I think that we kind of took a little too much, but there was some Julie Asleen Road to Rhinebeck, which someone said this was the color from last year, and I don't remember that, but it might have been. And she had a color from this year, which is, I think it's Odyssey it might be, but it's this beautiful deep purple with all of these different strands of berry colors inside. And guys, I mean, they're not the Brio duo of the week, but that's a Brio duo, right? So I took 2 of each of these. My mother is a huge fan of Julie Asleen yarn, and so I thought she would really like it. It's the Pheno base, which is 75% merino and 15% cashmere and 15% silk. And it does not get more luxurious than that. Lisa's very, very good at finding luxurious yarn. So thank you for this. I really, really appreciate it. We were at Indie Untangled she told us to get there at 11. And we tried to get some bread alones. There are 2 bread alones. There's one in Rhinebeck and there's one on the other side of the river in Kingston or Ulster, which is right there. And Indie Untangled, the site was about, I don't know, 5 or 10 miles away from my hotel. So Corrado came to my hotel. We got in the car. We said, we'll go to bread alone and then we'll go up to Saugerties, which is where Indie Untangled was. And we missed bread alone and we went 5 miles past it. And then we came back down to go to bread alone, and they forgot to put my croissant in the bag, but that's a whole other story. Because all weekend, anytime I ordered something, people forgot to put half my order in the bag, and I was gone. So that's cool. Really happy about that. Great job, Hudson Valley. So we finally get to Indie Untangled, and people are already there. I mean, it was such a wonderful venue. I think it was the Performing Arts Center, Saugerties Performing Arts Center. I think that's what it's called. There was a parking lot in front where everyone could park to unload all their stuff, and then all of the vendors were able to go down this little weird road and park right in the back of the venue. So we had our cars there all day, which was really wonderful. It's not the kind of parking lot that people could have come and go into, so anyone attending the festival really couldn't have used that parking lot. It had the same road for the in and out, so it just would not have worked. There was a big parking lot outside, but the way that Lisa really organized all the buses to go back and forth from the satellite lots looked like it worked wonderfully. And it was actually really fun every couple hours to see this huge school bus roll up and all these like knitters come out of it. And they were so excited. And then all the knitters that were leaving would go into it and leave. But it was great. You came in one door, you went out another door. There was a clock, counting down. It was a wonderful event. And Corrado and I would just tag team, and we would go through the venue to go shopping. So I would just go here, then I would go here. I mean, I missed a lot of booths because I didn't really get to shop, as I would have. But I would kind of just run over here to Magpie, then I run over here to Backyard Fiberwerx, then I'd run over here. So I ran when I can. Indie Untangled booth had a lot of traffic. I got to meet so many of you, which is so wonderful. I'm really bad with names. One lady from Texas gave me this Texas pin with a beautiful heart inside of it, and I don't know your name off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. I have your pin on my bag, which is downstairs right now in my knitting space. So thank you so much. I loved the gift. It was wonderful. I think that with that being said, this is not all the yarn that I took from Lisa. I took a couple more skeins and I want to show them to you, but they are this week's Brio Duo of the Week. So, ever since Christy and I did our Halloween episode, now that I hold this up, I feel like a total idiot. But in the big ball jar of Brio Duoism is the Brio Duo of the Week, which are 2 colorways dyed especially for India Untangled by La Bien-Aimée, which is a French company out of Paris. It's owned by Amy, who is an American, but she's living in Paris with her adorable Parisian husband. And these colors are, I believe, Hudson and Kingston. I'm not sure which one is which. Oh, this one. Okay. So this is Kingston. And it's this gray with these beautiful greens. And it's a tonal gray with like yellows and golds. And I just thought it was gorgeous. And this is, wait, which one's which? That one was Kingston. And is this one Hudson? Yes, this one is Hudson, which is this forest green. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And together, guys, Brio Duo. And of course, yes, I was selling them like that at India Untangled. Hey guys, Brio Duo. And it's India Untangled. You know, La Bien-Aimée is not there. So she gets a La Bien-Aimée color, I think, every year for the past couple years. And they're beautiful. If you like these colors, there was a shawl that goes with them. Please log on to indiauntangled.com. She's got all of the overstock there. It's La Bien-Aimée. It's good stuff. Buy it, knit with it, love it. You will love it. And so I took 2 skeins of this, and I took 4 skeins of this. I know. See, Lisa, I think I overdid it. I'm very sorry. I already gave away one of each because the knit owl, you know, Vincent, he was staying with me at Rhinebeck, and he was just drooling when I got back, and I said, you can have 1 skein of each. So maybe we'll see some brioche out of him with that. But he's a college student, and as you guys know, college students are essentially on the poorer side. You know, you're working instead of working at a job. You are working to get your education. And so he started dyeing yarn, and I think he's going to come out with a company real soon, and he gifted me a skein of yarn for letting him stay in my hotel room. And I just want to show this to you. I'm very sorry that the band on it got a little crinkled. I think Vincent needs to use a little thicker cardstock there. I'll help you with that. But it's this skein I think is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. And it's reds and pinks with some purples in it. And those are my colors, absolutely. So thank you so much, Vincent. It's knitowlyarns.com, see? And let me show you his logo, because his boyfriend Dylan is an extraordinary artist. He's extraordinary. He does all different mediums, I believe, media, and I just am in awe of people that can do stuff like that. So he made him a logo, and if you guys know Vincent, he has glasses, and he's the knit owl, and so that is a little owl. See the knitting needles in the middle and the glasses, and it's a little owl. And I think it's just a brilliant, brilliant logo, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next from the knit owl, guys. Tune in. So that was the Brio Duo of the week, and I just love it. I think that they're gorgeous. Again, Hudson and Kingston, indiauntangled.com, guys. If you didn't get to go, you can still buy the loop. So the first place that I made a beeline for when Corrado and I were tag teaming was Backyard Fiberwerx, because I just love them, and I've never actually knit with it. I keep buying it, and then I've destashed a little bit because I didn't like the base it was on for the project I wanted to use it for. So I said, okay, when I get to India Untangled, I'll buy the berry color in singles, but they didn't have it, and that was kind of a bummer, but they did have something quite gorgeous and very close to it, and I'll buy berry at VKL if they have it. So this is Backyard Fiberwerx in Orchid, and isn't it exquisite? Look at that pink, guys. That is my color. Like, I love a nice berry pink. And I like the way it's like lighter in some places and darker in some places, because when I knit up something, it's not just going to be one big flat color. It's going to be all tonal, and I just love it. So this is going to be, why can't I remember the name of the pattern? It's Andrea Mowry. It's boho. No. All right, I'll put it in the down bar. I can't remember what it's going to be. Boho Blush. That's it. That's it. Boho Blush. And I have to learn how to increase in brioche to do it, but I'm not going to be scared. You know, when you get new patterns and there's something in them that you don't know, just learn as you go along. And if you mess up, you mess up. You know, it's a homemade product, right? And so I just thought that this would make a beautiful boho blush, something that I will be able to use year round. And I love pinks, like really saturated pinks. Not hot pinks, but really like a berry. So that I thought was gorgeous. And then lately I've been into these beautiful yellows. So this is called Marigold. Isn't that exquisite? And I mean, for a single, look at the halo on that. It's beautiful. So I thought that was pretty. And I don't know, I kind of want to get a sweater quantity of this because it's really, really freaking pretty. And then I got this. This is called Urchin. And I really should have bought more than this. Look at that. Oh, guys, look at that. So many different purples and greens and earthiness. And it's like this light pink. But look at the speckles. So good. So originally I was looking for a skein that would be the neck of my Cipolla. I want to do the short sleeve Cipolla. And so I kind of thought this would be good. But I don't know because this color right here is kind of the color that I'm using for the body. And I don't know if it's going to take away from the color work. So I don't know if I should use a speckle with it. But I'm not one to choose two tonals for something. It's just not how I am. So the next booth that I went to was Spin Cycle and Magpie Fibers, which is like this match made in heaven. Andrea Mowry was there with her Night Shift shawl, which is incredible in person. Like I've met her a bunch of times. She's such a sweet person and she's so super talented. And I get tongue tied when I'm around her because I don't know, she's just beautiful in like every way. And I love her to death. And, so she knit her throwback with Magpie worsted and with some Spin Cycle. I didn't have any Spin Cycle before Rhinebeck weekend. I didn't. It's an expensive yarn. It is. It's rightfully so. I mean, those ladies are milling like villains, Kate and Rachel. They work hard and, but it is. It's expensive. Again, totally warranted because of the craftsmanship. But you should know what you're going to make out of it when you buy it. That I will say. I mean, it's nice to pick. I kind of get one here and there now so that I can start collecting it. So when I want to make something, I have it. But it is something where you have to have something in mind before you buy it. It's not just something you throw in your stash because it's just too gorgeous. So I went over to Magpie and I got her pin. I love her feather. Can you guys see that? And Damie from Magpie is one of the most beautiful people inside and out. I really, really love her. She's just a no BS person, which is one of my favorite type of people. And I really enjoyed speaking with her. She let me know how much she loves David Bowie, and so now I love her even more. And she's just cool. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, she's just cool. But I bought this beautiful skein of Magpie. Again, I'm interviewing yarns for my Cipolla, and I thought this was beautiful. It's not over speckled, it's really tastefully speckled, and this is called Heart of Glass, I believe, and I love Blondie. So Heart of Glass, as you know, is her song. And so a lot of the Magpie colorways are from rock and roll, you know, classic rock songs, and another thing that I just love about Damie. So, did I mention that I think she's wonderful? I think I did. Anyway, guys, Heart of Glass. MagpieFibers.com. Go get your Magpie Fibers. You won't be disappointed. Most of their skeins have, like, I think it's Swanky. Their Swanky Sock and their Swanky DK are MCNs that are just next level gorgeous. And I have a lot of it. And I don't really knit with sock yarn very much, but her Swanky Sock is amazing. So if you're looking for a fingering weight to make a sweater, literally not even just that, anything on her website, you will not be disappointed. So I didn't buy any Spin Cycle at India Untangled. I did buy some at Rhinebeck, so I will get into that later. Let me finish up with what I got at India Untangled, because after that, I went to the junk yarn booth. And you guys know junk yarn, it's just, junk yarn is not junk. It's just a joke, right? It's a joke, right? Right, Kemper? It's a joke. So I met the woman working there. Her name was Maria. She had the same personality that I had, so she and I had such a good time. And I wanted to make a beginner brioche cowl by Lavanya Petrosella for Franny because I don't really like putting a scarf on her. I feel like if it gets tangled, it could yank at her, and she's still a little girl. So I want to make a cowl that I can just slip over her. It'll go a little bit further down and keep her neck warm. And so I was thinking about making, again, the brioche cowl Or I'm also going to make her a Getting Warmer cowl by Melissa Clulo from Espace Tricot. I just have to modify the numbers a little bit to make it for a little person, but it's perfect because it just hugs your neck. So I was in the market for a Brio Duo for Franny, and I came out with this. And these are colorways Baby and Beauty Berry. This is Baby, which, again, it's just perfect for a little girl, right? It's perfect. I usually put Franny in a lot of reds, you know, because I'm not into like the whole she's a girl, so she has to wear pink, but she does like pink. So if she likes it on her own, that's what I'll knit for her, right? So this is Baby. It's really beautiful. And this is their DK base, which is 100% superwash, 231 yards. And this is Beauty Berry. And I just think together, guys, Brio Duo. Brio Duo alert! Yeah. It's beautiful. So I can't wait to start that for her. I think they'll knit up really nicely for a little girl. And again, Lavanya Patricella has beautiful, beautiful patterns. And I know right now she's trying to pay for a surgery. Her husband broke his arm and he's a barber, and she's trying to pay for a surgery that he needs. So if you guys love her patterns and you've been sitting on buying one, don't sit on it. Let's support her. She's wonderful. She's a great contributor to this society, this community, and let's support her. So I bought a couple patterns from her also that I've just been wanting, and I got them. So, guys, Brio Duo, Beginner Brioche Cowl. Highly recommend. I go through a lot of patterns. I go through a lot of yarn, and I don't like everything. I don't talk about the stuff I don't like because I don't think that's really my purpose. But the stuff I do like, I like to sing its praises because if it's good, it's good. And Lavanya's good. And Junkyard's good. Magpie is good. So that is my haul from Indie Untangled. I also got this from Junkyard, which was just, I just thought it was pretty. It was grays and pinks. It's just a little sock mini. And then I met Becky from Clinton Hill Cashmere. And guys, she is a drug dealer. She is a drug dealer. I heard Corrado call her, you know, yarn crack, and I was like, oh, how good could it be? I mean, I've touched it, I've felt it, whatever. It's yarn. It's crack. It's so good. And when I met her, you know, we both have a lot of friends in common, so I felt like I knew her already. So we were just like, hey. We didn't even like go into, hi, nice to meet you. We were like, hey. And she's like, I want to give you something. What color do you want? I was like, any color you give me will be just fine. If you give me a skein of Clinton Hill Cashmere, I'm not going to be the ass that says, I don't like that color. So I like them all. And this is what she gave me, guys. Look at that. So there's her label, Clinton Hill Cashmere. It's bespoke cashmere. And this is so beautiful, this gray. Look at that. This is lusciousness at its best. And I was gonna save it for the Christy Glass Knits Clinton Hill Cashmere Cal, that is their hashtag, KGKCHCKAL. I think it's starting. I'm not sure. Christy just put up a video if you guys want information on it. I was gonna save it for that, but I've been working on something that one of Corrado's patterns, and I wasn't happy with the yarns that I paired up for it. So I think I'm going to use this, and I'm going to get one more skein of this, and then the light pink. And I mean, gray and light pink, it's a little 80s, the combination, but I will wear it all the time. So sorry, not sorry. I'm totally going to do it. So thanks, Becky, for the crack, because I have one skein, and now I need more. I will be a regular on your website. Thank you for your generosity. But I get it. You're a drug dealer. The first hit is free. Yeah, it worked. Totally addicted. Haven't even knit with it yet. Totally addicted. I want to show you what I'm going to buy this Clinton Hill Cashmere for. So, as you know, Corrado and I have become close friends, and I have been laying out some of his patterns, and so I was redoing his pattern for Darth FM, which is a cowl pattern that he released. I know that this is not a good picture. It's the best one that I have, but that is the cowl that he released. And so I bought this pattern, and I said, you know, Corrado, it's not clear. And he said, oh, I designed it on my iPad. I don't have a really good program for it. So I've been laying out his patterns now so that they're more high def. And you can really see these pictures because Vincent, the knit owl, who I showed you his yarn before, he's been taking these pictures for Corrado, and they are incredible. And so I want you to really be able to see them. But he did this, the Darth FM cowl, in Clinton Hill cashmere, in the red and the black. I believe it's onyx and scarlet. And I thought, all right, well, I'm like, I don't need to do it in cashmere, but I think I want to. And so I started doing the pattern in, this is Very Berry from Chelsea Yarns, and I love this skein. So I hardly used any of it, so this skein will be used in something else because I love Christina, and she's a really excellent yarn dyer. She just really is. So that'll be used in something else. And then I was using this Hedgehog Fibers potluck, DK potluck, but it's way too busy. I think that these potlooks look better when you're just doing a straight stockinette on something, or something that has just a very simple pattern to it. So the Darth FM cowl is actually not so simple. It's a lot of knit one, purl one, and it's really a great way to practice if you want to learn how to knit continental, because I was doing continental knits and purls in this, and it's a great pattern to really practice that. This is the pattern so far. Again, I'm not really a fan of how it's turning out in this yarn, which is why, well, I can take the needle out of it. This is why I'm changing it over to something that's just a straight tonal, because you'll be able to see the gorgeous patterning that Corrado does in this. And I'm trying to get the needle out so you guys can see it better. I didn't want to take it off the needle because I didn't want it to unravel before I showed it to you guys, because I'm highly recommending this pattern. I was really enjoying knitting it. It's like a mindless knit, but it's not. So he really outlines every line in it. There are about 150 lines to the entire cowl, and he, like, literally each one has a number. And you know when you're in the middle of the project, you're at the beginning, you're at the end. It's really wonderful. He outlines every number. This is the cowl, and you can see how much there really is. There's so much patterning to it. It's so much, and it looks so cool. But I didn't think that this yarn was doing it justice, and I didn't think that the pattern was doing the yarn justice, because it's really a beautiful potluck from Hedgehog Fibers that I have been holding for a while. And the pinks didn't really match that I chose. I mean, if I were brioching with this, I think it would have been fine, but it's just not for this pattern. So I am going to buy another one. I'm going to start over, and that's how much I liked it. Like, I got this much done, which is probably a third of it, and I still want to knit it, so I want to start over and do something I'm actually going to wear. So it's so pretty, guys. Look at that. So I highly recommend it. Darth FM, Darth Fader Malberg, whatever he named it. It's explained in the pattern. It's actually really funny. It's like a Darth Vader, but in the colors of Darth Maul. But then Fader was kind of like Bader, so he was like Darth Vader Ginsburg, and then he likes RBG, and there's a whole story in there. And I just think it's really funny. But Corrado, seriously, you're doing a great job. I think that I was going to do something other than the I-cord cast on, but it just looks so good. So guys, like, take a couple minutes, watch the Very Pink Knits video, and do it, because it looks really good. And it actually is still really stretchy. You know, do it loose, but it's really pretty. So I can't wait to finish that. I'm going to have to order that yarn and do that, because I have to support my yarn husband. So I finished so many projects before Rhinebeck that I had, like, not much to knit while I was there. And I think I knit 5 stitches on a swatch while I was there, and that's it. So it didn't really matter that I was trying to figure out something to do while I was there. I didn't get a chance to do it anyway. Plus, I had a headache from Thursday until I got home Sunday night. It stunk. And I went over to Christie's on Sunday to do something with her for our Halloween video, and I backed up into a tree on her front lawn. Like, literally didn't see it. And I have one of those back cams, and it didn't hurt my car, and it didn't hurt the tree, and I was going like 5 miles an hour, but still, I hit a tree. Anyway, let's get into Saturday. Saturday, I woke up, again, I had a headache. My husband was coming up with Franny, so I kind of waited for them. We didn't go over to the fairgrounds till about 12:30. Now, I know you guys all get there really early, so I think everyone had seen everyone. Everyone had taken their group pictures, but I did get there in time to do the podcaster meetup at 1 o'clock. And I did get there in time to do the 2 o'clock KGK Unicorn Cal meetup and the LYS Unity Cal, where I got to meet all of you that knit your Tecumsehs, and I got to meet the ladies from the Knot House, and I got to meet up with Christina and Miriam, who are just, I love them. They're just my heart. And so I had a great time there. I got to see Van Ray, my Vanessa, who I talk to, I think, on a daily basis. We're pretty much watching the exact same things on television all the time. And let's see, what else? So I didn't buy much at Rhinebeck, though, because, well, there's a little bit of some drama. So the first day when I had Franny with me, I couldn't really shop, obviously, and this was Saturday. And after the meetups, I knew I wanted to go to Fiberwerx, Neighborhood Fiber Company. They're out of Baltimore. I think that their yarn is amazing. There are a lot of tonals and really good tonals, you know, like saturated colors. And I love that they have worsted babies. And by worsted babies, I mean worsted weight skeins that are doubled. So when you're making a sweater, there's not much you can make out of one skein of worsted. You're going to make a scarf. You're going to make a cowl. Fine. But if you're making a sweater, which is what a lot of people do with worsted weight, it's a real pain to have to buy like 9 skeins of it, right? So they make these like things that I call their babies. And this one did not have a label on it. And they asked me if I wanted a label and I said no, which was so stupid because now I don't know the colorway and I don't know the weight and the yardage, and I'll look it up. It's no big deal. But go to neighborhoodfibercompany.com. They have so much stuff on their website, guys. I really want to go to Neighborhood Fiber Company. I love their yarn. I love it. And so I got one in a yarn box like a year ago, and ever since then I've just been madly in love with them. But I had Franny with me, and it was really crowded, and it was raining outside, and it was not the time to sit there and shop. So unfortunately, I only got to grab one thing from them, which was this. And it's this beautiful tonal, like raspberry and grape. It's just, it's much more pinky red in person. It looks very purple on camera, but I do not know what I'm going to do with it, but I thought it was gorgeous. And I really should have bought a bunch of these to make my weekender out of, but I didn't, so hey. Then I went over to Miss Babs, because when you're at Rhinebeck, guys, you go to Miss Babs. And I've never actually knit with their yarn. Guys, I've never knit with a lot of stuff. I had 2 skeins of this from last year, and I wanted a third, but I don't think this one matches. I have to check. It's called Deep Sea Jellyfish, and it is my favorite of their colorways. And I had 2 of them, and I wanted one more so I could actually make something like a shawl out of it, because I think 3 skeins is good to make a shawl. So if it doesn't match, I think I'll just alternate and use it anyway. But it's really, really a nice base, and I like all the colors in it. I like the browns with the golds and the pinks. So I got that. Then I got a bunch of their little ones, which I think Franny has already turned into what she likes to call yarn spaghetti. Guys, really? I have this really nice vase up here, and she just puts yarn spaghetti in it. But that's okay. That's why I get them. I get them because I get to test out the bases, which is what they're for. They have all of them hanging up. They're these tiny little skeins, and you can just pull what you want, and they're all different bases, and you can test the base. And I think it knits maybe like a tiny little square. And it's enough to really test the base and see if you like it before you buy a big skein of it. Because a lot of the Miss Babs skeins are huge. So I wanted a yarn for my weekender sweater, and I needed a worsted weight. And for some reason, I mean, these skeins are beautiful, but sometimes I really wish that a lot of the indie dyers, and I know this would take a long time, and I'm not an indie dyer, so I'm not criticizing. I just wish I could see swatches of the colorways, because when you buy a skein, unless it's a tonal, you really don't know how it's going to knit up. And I am not a big fan of like the big mess of one stitch is this color, next one's this color. Like, I like a tonal with a couple of speckling, you know? So I don't know what made me buy these skeins. I think they are gorgeous as skeins, but I bought 3, and I didn't like the way the third one was knitting up. So I bought these. I mean, they're beautiful, guys. Look at them. They're yarn babies. They're humongous. This is on her Yowza base. which is called a light worsted. Now, I'm going to just rant a little bit, okay? Not at Miss Babs or anything, but light worsted. What is light worsted? It's DK. Is it? Please tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but this is 560 yards. So DK is usually 230 yards to 100 grams. This is 225 grams. I can't even do the math in my head. I think it's more like a DK. Am I wrong? It looks thick like a worsted, but when I was knitting with it, it got really thin. And it was like, I thought it acted more like a DK. And maybe it's a little bit thicker than DK, but I mean, if you're between, it's really hard to knit a pattern. Like I was knitting with it and just making a swatch, and it was beautiful, but I felt like it was too light. It was not a worsted. Worsted is thicker. Like you can feel the thickness of a worsted, I think, personally. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know. The term light worsted really threw me off. And so I don't know. I think that if you're going to knit a shawl with it or something where you really don't care what size it is, maybe that's better. But I also tried to cake this thing up on my regular winder, and it's like this hole, and I had to buy a bigger winder if I wanted to wind the other ones. And then this skein is like really orange when you knit it. It didn't look orange when it was skeined like this. It looked very white with all of these colors running through it, but it was very, very orange when I was knitting it. And I mean, right there, like, it's beautiful. It just wasn't what I thought. And that was unfortunate for me, because I really do look forward to going to Miss Babs every year, and everyone raves about it. And I think that it deserves the praise it gets, but it just wasn't working for me. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to be destashing some of this stuff that I did buy at Rhinebeck. If this looks like something that you want, DM me. They were $42 each. I'll just charge $40. But I'm going to be doing actually one last humongous round of destash. And I'll talk about that at the end. So some of the stuff I got at Rhinebeck is going to be immediately destashed because I can't keep it, guys. It stares at me. It shows up in my dreams. Knit me, knit me. And I don't have time to because I don't knit all that fast. So anyway, I thought this was really beautiful, but it's not going to work for what I need it for. And so unfortunately, it's going to be destashed. And what's good about destashing is it kind of is this weight lifted off of you. Like something is not sitting there that should be used. It's not waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when you go to fiber festivals, you feel like you can buy stuff without being, I feel bad. Do you guys feel bad? I feel so bad when I come home and stuff just goes into my stash. Like I want to use it right away. I want to employ it, in something. But so that's unfortunate. I did get to visit the Pom Pom booth, which, guys, I want to work for Pom Pom. I love publishing and I love this publication. But look at the issue that's coming out with Noragon guest editing. Oh, look at that sweater. Oh, I love this sweater. I love it. I do also love the Caitlin Hunter pattern that's in here, which has not been released separately yet. I think it's incredible. I know Miss Christie has her radar on it, so I'm sure we'll be seeing that. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so different. And I do love that about Caitlin. I got to meet her. I met her at Indie Untangled for 2 seconds on Friday night, but I got to meet her on Saturday. I really haven't gotten to really talk to her. I really would love to just pick her brain. But I think the construction is really cool. So it's just different. And it has bobbles and it's got just all sorts of things. And I really love the way all her patterns kind of fit differently, right? So the Tecumseh was this it's kind of a cape with sleeves, like a swancho, not a swancho. Then there's her actual swancho, the Ninelchik swancho, which I think Christina and I are going to be knitting together. No, we're not going to do a knit along, but we're going to knit along with each other. But guys, Pom Pom Quarterly is killing it. And then I got 2 pins from them. And I love this one. This is the Queen of Wands from Pom Pom. See? And then there's this one that goes with the moon issue, which was the last issue. Oh, that issue was so gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. So there's that one. And I believe these are from Shelly Can. And I'm not sure if you're able to get these on her website. Pom Pom may have them on their website, but again, I am not sure if they were a Rhinebeck exclusive, but I got them. Haha. Okay, and then on Sunday, I went over. So Sunday, I went to do stuff with Christy at her house. Then I got to the fairgrounds. I met up with Nick Witch. You know, she's a good witch. She's a Nick Witch. And then Corrado and his friend Loie, who I love, who I hope is my friend now. We went to taste wine. We bought pickles, which was kind of disappointing in the pickles. I bought so many of them and I had to throw them away when I got home. They just didn't taste right to me, which was stupid because sometimes when I have a migraine, food does not taste right to me. So I should have given it another day, but unfortunately I didn't. But Sunday I really went to the fairgrounds with the intention of going and doing a lot of shopping, and I just didn't. But I did get to see Leah at the Knitting Garage, and I really wanted to see Leah Stickle, give her a big hug. And, you know, she has not felt well for a very long time, and she's been trying to solve it. And so the fact that she could put together a booth and do Sheep and Wool weekend is really a testament to how strong she is, because that's hard for someone who's feeling well. And so, Leah, I salute you. You are amazing. You're a superwoman, and I love you. I picked up my first my first spin cycle from her. Yeah. She de-virginized me. She deflowered me. So this is what I got. I love this. Look at this. It's so beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I don't know if I'll make the shift cowl or the night shift, which I think they're incredible patterns. I don't know if they're me enough that I would wear them. So I want to find something to really do this yarn justice. And I didn't buy them in any particular like order. I just thought these 3 skeins were pretty, so I grabbed them. This one's called Tangled Up in Blue, which I made a total fool of myself last week when Kate Burge, she's one of the spin cyclers, she was on Instagram showing some of the new colors, and she's like, anyone want to help us name this? And I was like, oh, Tangled Up in Blue. And she's like, we have a colorway name that already. I was like, thanks. I was like, good job, Dan. Good job. I think I was speaking to Kate. I might have been speaking to Rachel. I'm not sure which account I was talking to. I think it was Kate. I send her weird messages. The poor girl. She probably thinks I'm so weird. It's okay. I am. I own it. So that, again, is my first spin cycle. Really excited. I am probably going to buy a skein here and there and then find something that I want to do with it. So I think I'm looking around, and I think that is my Rhinebeck haul. As you guys know, the Knitting Garage was selling these big totes. They were yearbook totes, and everyone was signing them. And I forgot to bring it with me on Saturday, and when I brought it on Sunday, there weren't that many people there. So I may bring this with me, and everyone who I saw at Rhinebeck that I see at other places, I'm going to make them sign it. So I got Emily, who is Slow Fashion Rebel. She signed it. Wool Jewel signed it, and that was it. I was spent. I had a falafel in one hand, which I had never had falafel before, and oh my gosh, it is delicious. And so since then, I've had like 90 falafels. Because they have them all around me at these really great Mediterranean restaurants, and I've just been like, they're good. But the one at Rhinebeck was so good. It had onions in it. Oh, and you know, I can't eat onions because my husband's allergic, so when I am alone, I eat onions, and I stink, guys, but hey, whatever. So that was Rhinebeck. I'm looking around. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, I did. I missed this. I got this from Coco Knits. Do you guys know what this is? This is a stitch marker holder, and it's also a slap bracelet because I'm reliving my youth. So you wear that, and it holds all your stitch markers while you're knitting. And it's cool. I don't know. I may destash it. I may destash some of my fringe bags. I think I'm having a crisis, you guys. I feel very guilty with all that I have. So, I mean, the stuff that I'm not using may just be destashed. Not because I don't like it. Not because I don't think it's cool. I've bought from some amazing companies. I'm looking at the bin right now. They're companies that I love. Sometimes I just buy something on a base I'm not going to use. I'm not a huge sock knitter. I knit a lot of skinny singles. I like the way they feel better. I don't like knitting so much with nylon in my yarn. So I may destash a lot of that. You guys are you're going to be appalled. So stay tuned for that. And if you're not already following me on kicking the camera. If you're not already following me on Gemma Darling Destash, now is the time. Because Nick Witch has such good stuff, and she's going to be taking over the account in a couple weeks and showing you all of the stuff she has. So it's time to knit some holiday gifts, and if you want a skein of this for a hat for someone, and a skein of that, and a skein of that, destashing is a great way to get it. A little bit less expensive than buying it on the web, but again, I do want you to support your local yarn stores, so just buy yarn. Just buy it. Make it happy. Anyway, guys, everyone I met at Rhinebeck, thank you so much for coming up to me and all the compliments. You guys are so sweet. And I love doing this podcast because I get to meet all of you at things like this. I will be at Vogue Friday and Saturday, I believe. So if you guys are coming to New York City and you're going to be at Vogue, let me know. I want to meet you. I just walk around with my camera. I am pulling all of the winners for the LYS Unity Cal tonight, and I think we have 12 prizes for that. So everyone who put their finished object in the thread, I'm going to pull numbers, and we're going to do it Price is Right style. Whoever's the closest without going over gets the prize, and I'm going to tell all of the wonderful sponsors that we had, which I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. They will be listed below. Thank you so much to everyone who donated a prize, everyone who participated. We had such a good time. I loved meeting you all at Rhinebeck, taking that picture, doing the Tecumseh conga line, which you can see in my Rhinebeck video, or Christy Glasses Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck Sweater video. Let's just take a second, though, and give Christy a round of applause, because she works hard that day, and she always gives us this wonderful video to remember a wonderful weekend with, and it takes her a long time and a lot of planning and a lot of editing. A lot goes into her channel, guys. A lot. I know you guys all saw the Halloween video by now. I'm so glad that you liked it. I was so nervous about it. Christy was really funny because she was just like, don't worry, it'll be great. And I'm like, I'm worried. We're imitating people, and what if they don't like it? And so we asked everyone first, and almost everyone gave us their blessing. Now people want us to do it next year, and I don't know. Maybe she will want to, maybe she won't. I don't know. But she has so much up her sleeve, you guys. You're not going to be... There's never a dull moment on Christy Glass Knits. If you're not a subscriber, I'm surprised. But go over and subscribe, please. She really works hard for that channel, and she is an amazing director. Like, you know, a lot of people were saying, we didn't know you could act, Gemma Darling. Well, I can't, but Christy pulls it out of you, and we had so much fun. I'm so glad that you guys liked it. So if we can make you smile, if we can make you laugh, that makes my heart super happy. I love this community, and I love giving you little things if I can just make you smile. So thank you for tuning in to see my Rhinebeck haul and all of this yarn piggery. And I have to take a picture of what I'm sitting in because this is disgusting. This is a disgusting amount of yarn. I will leave you. What else? Let's see. Emily, Slow Fashion Rebel, she and I have been talking. I have an idea for a children's book that has to do with yarn. I'm not going to tell you about it because then I'd have to kill you. But I think I'm going to write it and she's going to illustrate it. So we're trying to put that in the works. And also, she's a really talented graphic designer. And so she and I were thinking about just releasing some pins. And, you know, pins are just kind of like... They're kind of like the crack of the yarn community, right? Besides the Clinton Hill cashmere. But, you know, they're just little things. Like you buy a skein of yarn, you're like, oh, throw in a pin. And the pins are the memory. You know, we sometimes forget where we get the yarn, but the pins are the memory, and I love that. So she and I were thinking about collaborating on some stuff. I love Emily. Like, we hung out for 2 hours this summer, and I just love her. I want to get, like, best friend necklaces. So I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Episode 11 is in the can. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thank you just for everything. I love you guys. And that's it. I will see you guys in a week or two when I'm sure I have more to show you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye. figure out how to close a can. Just like a top for it, right? Anyway, I've taken to calling all of my sparkling drinks Shasta lately. So I'm having a Shasta. So hot. It's a really stretchy shirt.